Hi, friends. I have been, in the years since completing the Her Odyssey expedition, I've been in a space of deep rumination and germinating, and I'm just now starting to feel ready to start to share as I've made this transition from expedition thinking to this umbrella concept that I've been working with of slow travel, which is ways to enrich our travel by engaging compassionately with the people and places where we're privileged to visit. Under that, I've been developing speaking, writing, consulting, and I just wanted to share this insight into my process with other curious sorts. And so, to that, I want to offer special thanks and shout out to our Patreon folks who have been invested in seeing what's behind the scenes and the work that goes into all of this, and the folks who've helped me along the way. I also want to give credit for the video ahead. Um, what I'm doing here is just screen recording, and then I will be doing audio on my headphones along with the song, offering my own translations. I've found myself sending this to friends and loved ones when I want to convey these impactful songs, but folks may not have command of the same languages. So if this is something that you enjoy or a work that you think would be of interest, please give me another song title of something that struck you, or give me a country or a region. I probably know. I've probably had my heart touched by a singer from there, and some of them are available on the internet. I will say that I have different interpretations on some of the words than what you'll see from the other sources on the screen. I will offer my own interpretations of things, although I'm not an academic. This is just based on my own listening and interest and experience in those countries. And in this selection, the song is called Gracias a la Vida by Violeta Parra. Thanks Be to Life by Violeta Parra, who's a Chilean singer. And so there is some challenge there because the Chilean Campo diction is different, and they have a way of swallowing syllables, usually the first syllables of words, which can leave room for interpretation. So this one's mine. I welcome yours in the comment. A wee bit of background on Violeta Parra. She was alive from 1916 to 1967. Music was always in her, and she essentially was one of the ones who was a traveling singer, minstrel group, and then began to bring the Chilean Campo style into the capital in like the late 1930s, early 1940s, right as things were experiencing a change. And politically, it went along with this return to Chilean roots, and then singing at the start of a big revolution in Chilean thinking as they circled back to pride and where they came from. So she brings those roots, and you hear it in her song, and you'll hear it in the interpretations. But Violeta's career ran until 1967, and it ended when she put a shotgun in her mouth right after she'd put her kids in the car to summer camp and made sure all was well, and then chose to end it. And I'm seeing and feeling of the artists and the creators and the empaths in times when there's an increasing divide and alienation, those who stand with a foot in each world, as Violeta did in the Campo and the capital, um, in her heart of the people and of the opportunities given to her. Like sometimes that space gets too wide, and we start losing some of our most precious ones. And I want to honor that. And I want to honor those lives, and I want to honor this life and this voice in particular of a woman who stood through so much, who has given so much, and then who left us on her own timeline. But her work and voice live on. So I hope you can enjoy and forgive. Here we have Violeta Parra's Gracias a la Vida. The translation, or the letras, the words that you'll see, were by Percy Alexander Flores Navarro, from the Catholic University of Peru, from his paper Gracias a la Violeta Parra, un análisis de la canción Gracias a la Vida. And not to get any further political, but I'd say Peruvians and Chileans, like between Pisco Sour and Violeta Parra, they might have more in common than you might always think. And then the recording that you're going to hear was uploaded to YouTube by Franco Salinas Barraza, and it's had 12 million views. And I've listened to a lot, but I know all of those aren't mine. So I know we're all looking for it, so hopefully this will help some of you. And those of you with contributions or suggestions, I'll watch for that in the comments. So here we go. In this picture, you see Violeta playing a typical instrument of the region called the cuatri. The Patagonians were very certain to assure me that this was not a ukulele, and I cannot make that comparison, so I won't. Violeta Parra sang Gracias a la Vida, translated by Bethany from the written recording by Percy Alexander Flores Navarro, and dubbed over the YouTube audio recording by Franco Salinas Barraza.
Gracias a la vida.
Thanks be to life,
que me ha dado tanto.
which has given me much.
Me dio dos luceros.
It gave me 2 stars,
Que cuando los abro,
which when I opened them,
perfecto distingo.
I perfectly distinguish
Lo negro del blanco.
the black from the white.
Y en el alto cielo su fondo es
And in the high heavens, it's starry
en las
depths.
multitudes el hombre que yo amo.
In the multitudes, the man I love.
Gracias a la vida.
Thanks be to life,
Que me ha dado tanto.
which has given me much.
Me ha dado el oído.
It's given me hearing,
Que en
ears,
todo su
sound,
ancho
which in all of its breadth,
graba noche y día.
it records night and day,
Grillos y canarios.
crickets and canaries,
Martillos, turbinas, ladridos.
hammers, turbines,
Chubasco.
barking and storms,
Y la voz tan tierna de mi bien amado.
and the voice so tender of my well-beloved.
Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado el sonido.
It's given me sound
Y el abecedario
and the ABCs,
con él las palabras
with it the words,
que pienso y declaro.
which I think and declare.
Padre, amigo, hermano y luz alumbrando.
Father, friend, brother, and
La
shining
ruta
light,
del alma del que estoy amando.
the soul of the cave of he who I am loving.
Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto.
Thanks be to life, which has given me much.
Me ha dado la marcha
It's given me the drive
de mis pies cansados.
of my tired feet.
Con ellos anduve
With them I've crossed
ciudades y charcos,
cities and waste waters,
playas y desiertos, montañas
beaches, deserts,
y llanos.
mountains and plains,
Y la casa tuya,
and your
tu
house,
calle,
your street,
tu patio.
your front porch.
Gracias a la vida
Thanks be to life,
que me ha dado tanto.
which has given me much.
Me dio el corazón
It's given me the heart,
que agita su marco
which agitates its frame.
cuando miro el fruto
When I look at the
del
fruits
cerebro humano.
of the human mind,
Cuando miro el bueno tan lejos
when I look at the good so far
del malo.
from the bad,
Cuando miro el fondo de tus ojos
when I look into the depths
claros.
of your clear eyes.
Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado la risa
It's given me laughter,
y me ha dado el llanto.
and it's given me wailing.
Así yo distingo
In this way I distinguish
dicha de quebranto,
bliss from breakdown,
los dos materiales que
the
forman
2 materials
mi canto.
that form my song,
Y el canto de ustedes que es el mismo
and the song of you all, which is the same song.
Y el canto de todos que es mi propio canto.
And the song of everyone, which is my
Gracias
personal
a la
song.
vida que me ha dado tanto.
I'll let you watch the credits of the YouTube video and then offer a bit of analysis. And reason for the discretions. So thank you to Franco Salinas Barasa and to Percy Alexander Flores. So those of you who are bilingual and might have been bi-tri or polyglots may have noticed that there's some points where I had differences. But the one that I want to bring our attention to is these last 4 lines, the last 3 lines, when she talks about how the last verse, where she's talking about this. She does a very Tonglen type meditation with it in terms of going internal and saying, this is the song of my own laughter and brokenness, and this is the material of it. And then she goes outwardly and says it's the song of all of you all, and that's the same song. And then she goes out into the wider world and says it's the song of the larger world. And in this translation, he very reasonably goes with canto, but instead of mi propio canto, I hear her saying mi propio janto, like janto, attention, like center of attention, my focus. So that's how that comes back around, at least to my ear. Between that and then a couple of gender differences, like most of the other translations agree, madre, but for the theme of the song and then the gender series there, I hear her say padre. And then below that, you'll see in this line, la ruta del alma del que estoy amando. And what I hear her say is la gruta. So, la ruta del alma, the path of the soul of he who I love, or the cave of the soul of he who I love. There are some maybe splitting hairs, but something that I've been thinking about and feel like it was important to point out. I hope that I've done diligence to all of the others doing work. Please like, subscribe, engage in the comments. If you see something interesting, don't feed the trolls. Travel wide, go slow, live richly. Thanks for listening.